You have to do it the other way if you want to succeed in your finances. And I think the great thing about starting out is you have the opportunity to change the entire trajectory of your life based on how you're going to do this. And even if it means sitting down for one evening with a cup of tea or a glass of wine, whatever it is, and coming up with how you're going to delegate your monies at the beginning of the month, not at the end, like not what's left over, but like being strategic of like, this is what I'm going to make. And here are the things I need to take care of. Like, I want to be in the work retirement plan. I want to make at least interest only payments on my student loans, if not interest and principal payments on my student loans. I need an emergency fund. And then after that, once you figure out like what your financial priorities are, whatever's left over is your fund money. People do it the opposite. They figure out like, oh, I saw this great apartment, it's $1,500, and then they work from there. Yeah. You have to do it the other way if you want to succeed in your finances. And I think the great thing about starting out is you have the opportunity to change the entire trajectory of your life based on how you're going to do this.
No, totally. That's super helpful to know. And I think it's right. A conscious effort needs to be made from the get-go. Another question I have on here, like I literally have written, Barbara, should I have a spreadsheet? Question mark. Like, is that something I should make? Cause I don't have, also I don't have full-time, I'm working part-time right now. So there is a little bit of income. How should I be handling that? Like, is it too soon to start my spreadsheet? I don't think, but I also.
No, I think you totally start it. And whether it's a spreadsheet or you like, just like write it down in a notebook. I think most people use spreadsheets, but however you want to do it anyway is fine. But yeah, like right now, if you already have income and you're living at home and don't have expenses, like you could start tackling the student loans or start your emergency fund so that when you go to move out, you already have that done.
Yeah, this is all good.
So starting from the beginning is the key. Like, so starting like from setting your financial goals. And then once you've achieved your financial goals, whether it's debt reduction, saving for a part, whatever it is, then the rest of the money is fund money. Everyone does it backwards.
Yeah, no, that's totally true, because I feel like this is this big aha moment for me right now. Like, that makes so much sense, but it's true, because I think since forever, it's like, okay, what are the things I want to buy? But it's like, okay, you don't have a figure for what your like budget is. That's another thing I want to ask you too, like about budgeting. I've been doing a lot of research, especially in prep for this episode, and lots of people have a lot of different opinions about budgeting. Some people are like, oh, don't even worry about it.
Don't worry about it.
Okay, that's how you, so hit me. Tell me why.
Okay, so the budgeting thing, I feel like it's a dirty word. No one likes it. I think it's important to know however you want to call it, what do you have coming in and what do you have going out? And I think the going out part needs to start with you and your objectives for your life. Like, if the objective is to have the nicest apartment you can at 23, then that's fine. But if your objective is to say, by the time I get to 35 or 30, I want to have money in my 401k, I want to have my student loans paid off. Well, then that's where you need the money coming in. You need to set how many dollars that you're making are going to go to that in the beginning. And then maybe the apartment's not on the top of your world. Maybe you're comfortable living with your parents for 2 years because you're like, I'm just going to put every dollar towards student loans for 2 years. And then when I move out of my parents' house, because they're generous enough to let me stay here, then I'm going to start paying rent and doing other things. But I'm going to sacrifice the first 2 years, because honestly, the first 2 years out of college, I don't know anyone who makes a ton of money. So like, if you're going to be broke, maybe just be totally broke and be done with your loans.
Yeah.
But it's all an individual, like some people I talk to on the podcast are like all about this. Like, I'm going to super sacrifice for 15 months or 24 months and then I'm done. And then you talk to other people and they're like, I can't imagine having to do that. I'd rather have it take 5 years because that's their personality type, right?
Totally.
You have to have control over your money, because if you don't take control over your money, you'll never have control over your financial life ever.
Right.
So whether you call it budgeting or cash flow or whatever it is, you have to have a plan, because if you don't have a plan, you're just going to go through life and you'll be the person that comes in, not always, but there's plenty of people that come into my office at 55. They're like, I'm ready to save for retirement. And I'm like, when are you retiring? And they're like, in 2 years. And I'm like, are we robbing a bank? Like, what? Like,
yeah.
I'm not like, I can't make money. Like, I don't have a money tree like over there. Like, we can go pick it. So I think it's key. I think rather than focusing on the budget, having a plan is key. And the plan is going to involve like, where is your money going and what is coming in. So I think the plan is key.
Yeah, no, I think this is good. I'm feeling empowered. I'm feeling ready to start my spreadsheet. No, I do. I really do, because it's a lot, but I think when you break it down like that, it's simple, right? It's how much do you have coming in and how much do you need to spend it on? So
and
backwards in that way is good.
Yeah, working backwards and is it serving you, right? Like, so if 24 months living at home with your parents is driving you absolutely nuts, then maybe it's not worth doing that, because you're miserable and you don't want to be miserable. So it's different for everybody, but I think, working backwards and having that plan of where you want to be, because it's crazy to say it, but like, doesn't feel like it in the moment, but all of a sudden you'll look up and be like, oh, I'm almost 30. Like where do you want your future 30 self to be? Like, do you want to say like, look at all I've saved, I have no debt, I'm in the process of saving to buy for an apartment or a house? Like, where do you see yourself at that time? And like, you readjust as things happen, because life happens, and we, you know, obviously we can't plan it, but plan for where you would like to be and then adjust as you go.
Yeah.